that, well, if I do not get employment this year, maybe it's likely that next year I will be earning, I will be getting employment. So by that time, the earning from the second year might balance my losses of the first year as well. So that's how they move on expected incomes rather than actual incomes. That's one theory says. And lastly in this slide, cities are centers of hope. In any case, despite all those not only good things in cities, they are centers of hope. That's about two things. The conceptual aspect and the nexus between urbanization and migration. Now I enter into some basic facts, basic data on migration. What this slide shows is how we get data on migration. That is basically when Central Bureau of Statistics conducts its census and collects the information on population, it categorizes into institutional and non-institutional population. Institutional meaning those living in the camps, military camps or refugee camps, other kinds of camps, and those, the rest of them living in the house. So what is here is I have written NI. NI meaning non-institutional. So we have this 99% of population in 2011. That is 26.5 among 26.5 million population. Of that, 99% is non-institutional. That means living in the households. We have these categories in the census like native born and foreign born. And out of that, we classify as migrant, non-migrant, international migrant. So what is here is 97% of the total population as enumerated in 2011 census is native born and 1.8% foreign born. Now on the next one, among those native born, 85% were born within the same district. The rest of them were born in other districts, and that rest of the population is within the purview of migration. And among those who were born in other districts, we have by now 77 districts. By the time the census was conducted, we only had 75 districts. So this is based on 75 districts. So what it means is basically among those populations, there's large dominance of rural population. And in this side, what I wanted to show you is of the total population in this country at the national level, 16% is migrant, and out of that, 14.4% is internal migrant, and then 1.9% international migrant. This is primarily showing you that among the migrants, there is domination of female. And that domination is far greater in the case of international migrant immigration. You will notice that 70% of immigrant, that is coming from other countries, belong to female, and in the case of internal migrants, it's only 57% female. So migration stream is primarily dominated by female. This one, that's internal, coming within the country. And the other one is external migration. This is the case of external migration. And this external migration is overwhelmingly dominated by male. That is, you will notice here is that almost 88% of those going for work outside the country from Nepal is male, and only 12% female. I just wanted to share with you where these external migrants go. I don't know what, I think you are familiar with these maps. And what is this? This is Europe, this is China, this is North America, this is Southeast Asia, this is Australia, this is India, this is what we call Gulf countries, this is other. Look at where our external migrants, wage workers are going. 38% go to India and SAARC countries. Primarily it's India. Although I mentioned SAARC countries, very limited number have gone to other countries in SAARC. And then next one is what we call Gulf. And then the third one to Southeast Asia, what we call Malaysia and other, Korea and others. And then United States and other countries in America, and then Europe, and then some in Australia. That's the case of 2011. That's, look at this. This is for whole Nepal. Let me show you another map. This is the case of external migrants from urban areas. You will notice here that the proportion going to India is far less. The proportion going to West Asia is relatively the same. The proportion going to North America, going to Europe, going to North America, going to Australia is far higher among urban migrants. Particular numbers are there, so I don't want to go into detail. And if you look at the next map, this refers to rural only. Remember, the first one was the whole Nepal, the second one was urban Nepal, the third one is rural Nepal. You will notice here is that largest proportion goes to India. And then going to West Asia, somehow the proportion going to West Asia is fairly similar. Either we talk of urban areas or rural areas or in general. And then those going to developed countries like Europe, America and Australia, the proportion is very low. The next slide. All those maps I showed you refer to 2011 census, and this one is 2001. This is a decade before what had happened. Look at here. If you recall, in the earlier map, I showed you the proportion as 38%. And then here, in 2011, it was 77%. Among those going for work outside the country, in 2001, the proportion was almost 78%. But that proportion has dramatically, decreased to 38% by 2011. I just wanted to talk about urban migration here. It's basically 95, almost 96% of people in urban areas were born within Nepal, and then only 3.7% were born in outside Nepal. And the second one, the second one here is among those native born in the same districts, 63%, and 32% were born in other districts. And when you talk about migration, these are our reference point. And then among those urban migrants, 76% had rural origin, and then 10% urban origin. The next slide. Total migrant. Remember here, of the total population in urban areas of Nepal, 36% were migrant in 2011. If you recall, at the national level, only 16% were migrant. And among them, 32% in migrant, and then 3.4% immigrant. Well, you will notice that among the urban migrants, you will notice that among internal migrants, the ratio of male to female was not much different, 49 versus 50%. But among the immigrant meaning those coming from outside the country, little dominance of female. This slide intends to show you among the migrants, what proportion had rural origin and what proportion had urban origin. You will notice here that dominantly migration in this country is of rural origin. Almost 93% migrants in urban area, in general, that's not urban, that's general. That is of rural origin, and 7.4% urban origin. And then from rural origin heading to urban, look at this, 33% migrants were headed from rural areas to urban areas. And if you look at this, dominantly among the migrants, the destination was rural areas, and only 38% had urban destination. That was 2011. Now, whatever the situation a decade ago, you notice here is that, look at here, in the earlier slide, it was 33%. A decade ago, it was only 25.5%. What it means is, among the migrants, those moving to urban areas, the tendency has been very, very much increasing. I wanted to show you the regions of migration. I don't want to go into detail. Basically, study, service, dependency, marriage, business are the major regions of migration, and this is divided into male, female, and total. This is another slide which excludes marriage and dependency. So it shows that basically study and service are the main regions for migration for male, and then study comes out, study and business, the second one. Study common to both male and female. I just wanted to show you what proportion among the notable 6 urban areas of Nepal, what percentage of population in those urban areas constitute migrant. Look at here. Kathmandu, 56% of Kathmandu urban areas are migrants. In the case of Pokhara, it's 42%. In the case of Lalitpur, it is 47%. In case of Birganj, it's almost 19%. Viratnagar, 33%. And then Bharatpur, 51%. Among these 6 top-ranking cities, Kathmandu, largest proportion of population is migrant. That is one example. But if you consider all 58 municipalities, then Buttawal comes out as the largest city in terms of proportion of migrants. It has 58% population as migrant. I wanted to show you what is the situation, where do these migrants come from for the 6 cities I mentioned earlier. So this is the case of Kathmandu and Pokhara. I don't want to go into detail. Basically the message here is that Kathmandu has more diversified migrants in terms of geographical regions than Pokhara. And then this one is Lalitpur and Viratnagar. Lalitpur is more diversified than Viratnagar. The third one, Bharatpur and Birganj. Birganj is quite a limited city in terms of migration. Finally, I'm getting to the end. Finally, what we see here is that urban areas are centers of growth. And then the tendency we are seeing in case of Nepal is migration is on increase. Migration from rural areas to urban areas is on increase. People see being an urban as status. So, and then there is a link. Thank you. There is a link between migration and urbanization, and both these stories are unfolding stories. And then our future largely depends upon migration and urbanization, and it is the migrant who make urban areas vibrant. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor, for that informative presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, we begin the Q&A round now. We have time for 4 questions. We will take 2 questions from the floor and 2 from the balcony. Please stand up in your place if you have a question. The volunteers will bring the microphone to you. Questions must be short and precise. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. Thank you so much for your presentation. My question is, when this question of urbanization comes, it always comes with this idea of developmental terrorism. What impact does developmental terrorism have on the migrants, especially in the urban areas? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Very interesting question. We do have very little data on that. Well, there is this tendency that this, urban areas shelter all kinds of people. That's the knowledge we have. So what it means is it also shelters all kinds of activities and all kinds of people. There are some cities and there are some areas, even within the cities. In sociological theories, there is this one theory, it says that there are particular areas within the cities that harbor some kind of undesired activities. So location-wise, yes, it is. And then in terms of detail, where in the case of Nepal, we have very limited information on that. It's the security person who basically look into these areas. Thank you.
Namaste, sir. Urbanization bring migration or migration bring urbanization? Please explain this.
Very good.